What's up, guys? It's time again. It's movie review time! And today I am reviewing Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, the end of a saga, but yet still the rise of a main character. But not really. You will understand later. But by now, most of you have either seen the movie or heard the millions of nerds cry out and that were suddenly silenced by J.J. Abrams and the final movie. Alright, so non-spoiler review. Did you like the movie? Well, that's complicated. I didn't hate the movie. Overall, I felt that this was a fast-paced flick, which really felt like they crammed two movies into one. There was a ton of nostalgia and fanfare, which I thought was fun. If you hated The Last Jedi, there was some stuff that sort of retconned what happened in the last movie. And if you loved The Last Jedi, don't worry. They didn't retcon it so much that you could eliminate that movie altogether. A lot of the time I found myself saying,
"That's not how the Force works."
But still, I walked out of there overall even with the ending of my most beloved saga of all time. Okay, so now it's time for spoilers! Chewie and Lando crash in the Falcon and die a horrible, horrible death! Psych! No, that didn't happen. But seriously, if you haven't seen the movie and don't want to get spoiled, get the hell out of here and go watch it. It's worth the watch. But by now, most of you have probably seen it. It's making billions already, so let's proceed. Spoiler time, Star Wars! The Rise of Skywalker picks up sometime after the events of The Last Jedi, with our hero still trying to figure out how to destroy the First Order, but now we are nearly immediately reintroduced to the surviving Emperor Palpatine. Yep, that's right guys, Palpatine lives. But how the hell did that happen? Well, don't worry, because the movie does nothing to explain that. Just know that he was scraped up from the bottom of the Death Star remains and plugged back into the Animus from Assassin's Creed and right back into the Star Wars universe. Despite the Emperor's return being in this movie, which I felt like it really should have been in The Last Jedi, if that was the plan all along anyway, I felt that this was the best look and the best performance of Emperor Palpatine. I mean, he was evil. Even I was a little taken back with his look. They really matched him from his appearance in Return of the Jedi, but gave it more. He looked way better than he did in Revenge of the Sith. Anyway, dude is back with a huge fleet that rivals the original Empire, with new troopers in new stylish red gear, but they still can't hit the broadside of a barn with a bazooka. And again, no explanation for any of this, but it's very familiar to the comic trilogy Dark Empire. So check that out if you're interested. Kylo Ren is back with his boy band, the Knights of Ren. In my opinion, were as useless as tits on a bull. I mean, they really didn't do anything but walk into a scene. They fought Kylo Ren a little bit at the end, but even that wasn't anything that was that impressive. So anyway, Kylo Ren makes his helmet again, scares a few people, connects with his Force pen pal Rey, and does the usual dark side bad shit. Overall, I really enjoyed his performance though. For me, anyway, this was the best that I've seen Kylo Ren in the three movies. I felt that his struggle with the light and the dark could be felt, although I really hated the whole Reylo bullshit. And I know I may catch some hate with that, but f it. I felt that it was forced and ultimately didn't result in anything. The whole dyad Jedi crap was meh. I mean, Force Hero has been a thing for a long time in Star Wars, but being able to transfer physical objects across space to me was an easy way to progress the story and extremely lame in the last battle. Now, Rey was looking super sexy in the new Jedi robes. I dig it. Says, I'm a badass, but still I have some style. I like that they chose to make her a Palpatine, but would have rather have been a Kenobi simply because I'm a fan of Kenobi. And ever since they showed that he had a thing with that Queen of Mandalore in the Clone Wars, I was like, a whole Jedi Mandalorian thing could be cool to see. I mean, forget that the Queen was killed by Maul and all, but I mean, he hid that relationship for a long time, so maybe he got it on with another Mandalorian. But I digress. Yes, she's an evil Palpatine of the dark side. That explains why she's been a little uber on the power side, right? Wrong. She has to have some trials and gain knowledge before she can do all that. And she just can't manifest the Force. Okay, I hear you. And to some degree, I agree with you. But hey, Luke learned all that shit in like a weekend on Dagobah. Just saying. Anyway, I thought she was really cool as well. And I like how she accidentally let out that lightning fart that made us all think that she killed Chewie. Seriously though, that was the only time in the theater in our viewing that there was any kind of reaction from the crowd, was when we thought that Chewie may be dead. But then it was immediately taken back when we see that Chewie was still alive in another big transport ship that was hiding somewhere in that big blue, not a cloud in the view, sky. The journey of Kylo and Rey make up the bulk of the movie. They have to find some wayfinder, which is kind of like Find My iPhone in the Star Wars universe, to find the lost Sith planet. That was okay. I could deal with that. I would rather have seen something like a Force Ghost, manifesting itself and talking to them kind of like they did in the other movies. But I think Find My iPhone works. The only thing that was weird was that knife thing they used to find the Wayfinder. Like, how the hell did someone craft that knife in the exact way the Death Star would have crashed? And after 30 plus years, wouldn't have some shit shifted by now? I mean, those waves were rough as hell. This all eventually takes them to the end of the movie where they get into a final battle with Emperor Palpatine, who sucks their life force out of them and banishes Ben Solo to a pit. Then we find out that all of the Sith from long past reside in the Emperor, and all of the Jedi reside in Rey. I think this was supposed to be the really cool part where we all were supposed to be like, whoa! But that was more like, what? That part didn't really do anything for me. I ended up just trying to pay attention to who all the voices were, which was more of a distraction. She then beats Palpatine really rather easily by deflecting his electricity back onto him. And I mean, after Revenge of the Sith, don't you think that Palps would have learned by now?
Don't let him kill me!
I would have much rather seen a lightsaber duel between Rey and Ben versus Palpatine. To me, that would have been pretty epic. And if they were going to kill off Ben anyway, you could have had Palps run him through and then have Rey defeat Palpatine afterwards. Wait, they killed Ben? Yep, sorry for all you Reylo fans out there, but Ben is dead. The death of the last Skywalker. So why is it called Rise of Skywalker? Well, that could be because Kylo turns back from the Sith to become Ben again, albeit for a short time. But more than likely it's because Rey assumes the last name Skywalker at the end. Wait, what? She can't do that. She can't be a Skywalker.
That's not how the Force works.
Why not? I mean, a lot of people get adopted. It's not about who's your dad, it's about who raised you to be who you are. That part I'm okay with. So what about the rest of the cast? Well, the rest of the cast, in my opinion, felt underutilized. What about Finn? Finn has some heroic moments that really didn't make much sense to me. He's starting to feel the Force, which makes me say,
That's not how the Force works.
in truth, I like John Boyega, and I've always felt that he's the reluctant hero. I like the comedy that he brought to the trilogy, but the whole feeling the Force thing was a little bit of a stretch. What about Poe? Again, same as Finn. These two both remind me of what Harrison Ford brought in one character of Han Solo. They're heroic, they're funny, but with both of them, there isn't much focus with them. They're just there along for the ride. What about Rose? Was she even in this film? What about Zoe Bliss? She had to be cool. She had a badass suit. Yeah, she had a cool suit and gave me some unnecessary backstory to Poe, but she didn't do much of anything. I was hoping for more. What about Janna? I thought the whole turn from Stormtrooper thing was cool, but we saw that with Finn. And then they're feeling the Force thing as well? What about Dio? Meh. What about BB-8? Meh. Babu Frick? Now this guy I love. Cute little droid Smith. I love him almost as much as Baby Yoda. Almost. Okay, surely the original cast appearances at least made the movie flow a little better, right? I thought the scenes with Leia were well done. They used scenes that were shot in The Last Jedi and they melded very well in this film. I didn't get what they did when she went into her coma to speak with Kylo, or what ended up happening at the end as to why she disappeared when Ben died. But overall, I thought she was done pretty well. Luke's appearance, I think, was more there as a retcon for what happened in The Last Jedi with him throwing the lightsaber. Mark Hamill is the man, so don't get me wrong. He did a freaking awesome job playing Luke Skywalker, and I love that he rose the X-Wing from the water. But I think that all of this should have been in the last film. So at this point, it was just a correction for The Last Jedi. Han Solo also makes an appearance. I love Harrison Ford as Han Solo, even if he doesn't. The guy is just cool. I like that he was back, but why did he need to go in the first place? So again, as with Luke, I think this was some correction for what happened to appease fans. Lando was in the film, but he really didn't do anything. I mean, he was a seasoned general. You think more would have happened. He got the entire galaxy together in a few hours to fight the last fight and made an entrance, Avengers Endgame style. But other than that, nothing more came from him. Chewie roared, beat down some bad guys, and he finally got his medal after 42 years. Go Chewie! 3PO served to add some humor, but talk about a totally different take from the trailer. His scene where he says, "One last look at my friends," really hit me in the trailer. In the movie, it didn't have any weight to it, especially when they brought him back very soon thereafter. And R2, I just wish was in the movie more. I liked him way better than BB-8. So did you even like this film? That's the funny thing, I did. I just didn't get those Star Wars feels. The magic that made the original series what it is, I felt was missing in this entire trilogy. I feel that they didn't have a good plan for these films, and then ultimately the overall story suffered for it. But even with all of that, I still enjoyed the movies. They may not be my Star Wars movies that I grew up with, but I feel that they will inspire a new generation. Hopefully to make something better. Hey, there's hope with The Mandalorian, right?
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Well, that's my review of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Please feel free to give your opinion in the comments below, however light-sided or dark-sided that it may be. I'm truly interested to hear your thoughts about the film. Also, subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos like these. And until next time, guys and gals, may the Force be with you.